First Contact and Ultimatum. The Dominion warship Eternal Victory emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in impossible patterns. Supreme Ambassador Kaxarleth stood at the command center, their iridescent scales shifting colors with barely contained anticipation. This would be their 100th conquest for the Dominion, a milestone that would cement their legacy in the annals of galactic history. Status report, Kaxarleth commanded, their 4 eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the blue-green planet ahead. The primitive civilization appears to be at technology level 3, Ambassador reported Chief Analyst Vex. They've barely established colonies on their moon and neighboring planet. No sign of faster-than-light capability. Kaxarleth's mouth tentacles curled in satisfaction. These conquests were always the easiest, species just advanced enough to understand their hopeless situation, but not developed enough to pose any real threat. The Dominion had perfected this approach across 1,000 worlds. Initiate standard contact protocols, they ordered. Broadcast our demands in all their primary languages. The message was simple and had worked countless times before. Submit to Dominion rule or face extinction. Most species chose survival. Those who didn't quickly learn the cost of defiance. Minutes passed, then hours. The bridge crew grew restless as Earth remained silent. Perhaps their communication systems are too primitive to receive our transmission, suggested Vex. No, Kaxarleth replied, their scales darkening with irritation. They're receiving it. They're choosing to ignore us. They had seen this behavior before, a show of false courage before the inevitable surrender. Move us closer. Let them see our true scale. The Eternal Victory glided forward, its massive form now clearly visible from Earth's surface. At 15 kilometers long, it was designed to inspire terror, a harbinger of doom for those who would resist Dominion rule. Still no response, Ambassador, reported the communications officer. But we're detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's surface. Kaxarleth dismissed the concern with a wave of their primary tentacle. Probably their primitive weapon systems coming online. Nothing that can harm. The officer's console erupted in alerts. Ambassador, multiple objects emerging from Earth's atmosphere. The holographic display filled with hundreds, no, thousands, of vessels rising from the planet's surface and its moon. They moved with impossible precision, their formations shifting like schools of fish in Earth's oceans. Impossible, Kaxarleth whispered. Their technology level. Scan those ships. I can't, Ambassador, Vex stammered. Their hulls are absorbing our scanning beams. The technology is unlike anything in our database. The human fleet continued its advance, surrounding the Eternal Victory in a perfect sphere of gleaming metal. Their ships were smaller but sleek, with designs that defied conventional physics. A transmission cut through the Dominion's communication system, bypassing all security protocols as if they didn't exist. A calm human voice filled the bridge. Supreme Ambassador Kaxarleth of the Dominion, we've been expecting you. Kaxarleth's scales paled. How did they know their name? Their title? We've studied your species for decades. Every conquest, every tactic, every weakness. Did you think you were the only ones watching? Impossible, Kaxarleth hissed. You're a primitive species. You haven't even achieved faster-than-light travel. A small chuckle came through the transmission. Oh, Ambassador, what you saw was exactly what we wanted you to see. Those lunar colonies, decoys, the primitive satellites, sensors designed to track your kind. We've been preparing for this moment since we first detected your probes 50 years ago. The human ships began to power up their weapons, but these weren't the crude nuclear devices the Dominion had expected. These weapons pulsed with quantum energy that made the very fabric of space shiver. You have 1 hour to retreat beyond the orbit of Jupiter, the human voice continued. If you choose to stay. The nearest human vessel fired a warning shot that passed through the Eternal Victory's supposedly impenetrable shields as if they were mist. Well, let's just say we've learned a lot from studying the remains of your failed expeditions to other resistant worlds. For the first time in their long career, Supreme Ambassador Kaxarlith felt true fear. The hunters had become the hunted, and humanity had been playing a very, very long game. Your hour starts now, Ambassador. Choose wisely. The Hidden Arsenal. Deep within the Quantum Defense Command Center beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Sarah Chen watched the confrontation unfold through a neural interface that connected her directly to humanity's unified defense network. The alien ambassador's fear was palpable, even through the quantum sensors that penetrated the Dominion vessel's hull. They're scanning their database for any reference to Earth's true capabilities, reported Dr. James Martinez, head of the Xenotechnology Division. His augmented eyes flickered with streams of data as he processed the alien ship's internal communications, finding nothing, of course. Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. The Artemis Protocol, initiated 50 years ago, when their quantum arrays first detected the Dominion survey probes, had worked perfectly. While the aliens watched humanity's apparent stumbling steps into space, the real work had happened in secret, deep underground and beneath the oceans. "Show me the Lazarus array status," she commanded. The neural interface responded instantly, flooding her mind with data from the massive quantum computer complex hidden within the moon's core. It had taken 30 years to build, requiring advances in physics that would have seemed like magic even a decade ago. The array's artificial intelligence confirmed what they had already suspected. The Dominion's technology, while advanced, relied on predictable principles. Their faster-than-light drives created detectable distortions in spacetime. Their shields operated on frequencies that could be bypassed. Their weapons, while powerful, were limited by their understanding of quantum mechanics. "They've never encountered a species that was prepared for them," Dr. Martins noted, reviewing historical data stolen from the Dominion's networks. "Their standard procedure is to find developing civilizations and strike before they can develop effective defenses. But humanity had changed the rules of the game. The discovery of quantum crystalline technology in the Mariana Trench 20 years ago had accelerated their development by centuries. While maintaining a carefully crafted image of a species just beginning to reach for the stars, they had built something unprecedented. The lunar colonies, visible to alien observers, were just the surface. Beneath them lay vast manufacturing complexes that produced ships powered by zero-point energy. The International Space Station was a cover for a quantum surveillance network that spanned the solar system. Even humanity's apparent political divisions were part of the deception, hiding the unified world government that had worked single-mindedly toward this moment. Admiral Chen opened a secure channel to the quantum fleet surrounding the Dominion vessel. "Status report on the Prometheus weapons. All systems nominal. Admiral," came the response from Fleet Captain Rodriguez. "The warning shot confirmed our theories. Their shields can't detect, let alone stop, our quantum-phased weapons. We could disable their ship without destroying it." The Admiral considered their options. The Artemis Protocol had anticipated this moment, gaming out countless scenarios for first contact. But now that it was happening, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Their response here would shape humanity's relationship with the galaxy for centuries to come. Through the neural interface, she could sense the alien ambassador's growing panic. Their carefully constructed worldview was crumbling. Every scan they ran, every analysis they attempted, only confirmed what should have been impossible. They had completely misjudged humanity's capabilities. "Dr. Martinez, what's the status of the consciousness upload?" she asked, referring to the quantum AI's ongoing analysis of the alien minds aboard the Dominion vessel. "Complete, Admiral. We've mapped their neural patterns, language centers, and memory structures. We now understand their psychology better than they do. Their species values face-saving gestures. A complete humiliation might drive them to desperate actions, despite their fear." Admiral Chen nodded. This was why the Artemis Protocol had emphasized precision over pure force. They could destroy the alien ship, but that wasn't the goal. They needed to reshape the Dominion's understanding of humanity, while leaving them a path to retreat with some dignity intact. Through the quantum sensors, she watched the alien ambassador pace their command center, their scales shifting through patterns that the AI translated as extreme stress and cognitive dissonance. They had expected to find primitive humans cowering before their superior technology. Instead, they found themselves trapped by weapons they couldn't understand, facing the humanity that had long surpassed their understanding of physics. 20 minutes remaining in their decision window, reported Captain Rodriguez. The quantum fleet is maintaining position. No sign they're preparing either defensive or offensive measures. They're paralyzed, Dr. Martinez observed. Their entire strategic doctrine is based on technological superiority. They have no protocols for encountering a more advanced species. Every scenario they run ends with their defeat. Admiral Chen straightened in her command chair, her decision made. Prepare a second transmission. It's time to show them exactly what they're dealing with, but also to offer them a way out. The galaxy is changing, and the Dominion needs to understand its place in the new order. As she prepared to address the aliens again, she reflected on humanity's long journey to this moment. 50 years of secret preparation, of technological leaps hidden from prying eyes, of unity disguised as division. The Dominion had thought they were the hunters, but humanity had been waiting patiently in the shadows, ready to emerge as something far more dangerous, a species that had evolved beyond their understanding. Battle of the Void. Supreme Ambassador Kaxarleth made their decision as the final minutes of humanity's ultimatum ticked away. Their pride, cultivated over decades of successful conquests, wouldn't allow them to retreat. With trembling tentacles, they activated the emergency beacon, summoning the Dominion's nearby battle fleet. In the Quantum Defense Command Center, Admiral Chen watched the quantum ripples of faster-than-light communications spread across space. They're calling for reinforcements, she announced to her command staff. Exactly as predicted. Dominion battle formation emerging from hyperspace, reported Captain Rodriguez. 37 capital ships, over 200 support vessels. The space around Earth's orbit filled with Dominion warships, their crystalline hulls forming a deadly constellation against the star-filled backdrop. Under normal circumstances, it would have been an overwhelming force, capable of reducing entire solar systems to ash. Admiral Chen remained calm. Execute Constantine Protocol. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden assets awakened. The surface of Mars rippled as massive hangar doors opened, revealing squadrons of quantum fighters. The asteroid belt came alive with stealth platforms that had waited decades for this moment. From Neptune's dark side, enormous carriers emerged from their icy concealment. Ambassador Kaxarleth, Chen transmitted, "Your reinforcements are impressive. Now, let us show you ours." The quantum fleet began to shift, each ship splitting into multiple copies of itself, quantum superposition made manifest. The Dominion sensors couldn't determine which vessels were real and which were quantum echoes, all of them registered as equally solid and deadly. Impossible. Kaxarleth's voice cracked over the comm. Your technology. It violates the laws of physics. No, Ambassador, it violates your understanding of physics. There's a difference. The battle began with a desperate barrage from the Dominion fleet. Energy weapons and plasma torpedoes filled space, many passing harmlessly through quantum duplicates, while others were absorbed by shields operating on principles the aliens couldn't comprehend. Humanity's response was precisely calculated. Quantum-phased weapons struck with surgical precision, bypassing Dominion shields to disable key systems. Ships found their weapon systems locked in quantum uncertainty states, simultaneously functional and non-functional until observed, rendering them effectively useless. Status of the consciousness upload. Chen asked Dr. Martins as the battle unfolded. Complete integration with their fleet's neural networks. We're receiving tactical data directly from their officers' minds. They're terrified. Nothing in their military doctrine prepared them for this. The Dominion fleet tried to coordinate their attacks, But humanity's quantum fighters moved in ways that defied conventional spacetime. They existed in multiple locations, simultaneously, their quantum drives allowing them to appear precisely where needed when needed. From the Lazarus Array hidden in the moon, streams of quantum data poured forth, predicting and countering every Dominion tactic before it could be implemented. The artificial intelligence had gamed out this battle 1,000,000,000 times in simulated spacetime, and knew exactly how to achieve victory with minimal loss of life. Their flagship is attempting to calculate a hyperspace jump, reported Captain Rodriguez. Should we prevent their escape? Admiral Chen considered for a moment. No, let them retreat. But first, she activated a targeted quantum transmission directly to Ambassador Xarleth's neural pathways, sharing carefully selected images. Earth's quantum shipyards hidden in dimensional folds around Jupiter, the vast energy matrices collecting zero-point energy from the Sun's core, the quantum computational arrays that could simulate entire galaxies. This was never going to be a conquest, Ambassador, she transmitted. This was a demonstration. Your dominion has ruled through fear of your superior technology. That era is over. Humanity is ready to join the galactic community, not as subjects, but as equals. Perhaps even as teachers. The Dominion ships began to retreat, their once proud formation now scattered and broken. Of their entire fleet, not a single vessel had been destroyed, only disabled where necessary. It was a display not just of power, but of precision and restraint. As the last Dominion ship disappeared into hyperspace, Admiral Chen turned to her staff. Begin Phase 4 of the Artemis Protocol. It's time to reshape the galaxy's understanding of humanity. Through quantum entanglement networks, she could already sense the ripples of this encounter spreading across spacetime. The Dominion would share what they had witnessed here, and the galaxy would have to come to terms with a humanity that had hidden its true nature for decades, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The battle was over, but the real work of reshaping galactic civilization was just beginning. Humanity had revealed itself not as the primitive species the Dominion expected to conquer, but as something far more dangerous, a civilization that had mastered the quantum nature of reality itself. The Ambassador's revelation. Supreme Ambassador Xarleth stood before the Dominion High Council, their scales dulled to a matte gray, a sign of extreme distress in their species. The circular chamber, with its towering crystalline spires and ancient symbols of power, had always filled them with pride. Now it felt suffocating. "You mean to tell us," spoke High Counselor Vexthor, their voice echoing through the chamber, "that these humans not only rejected our demands but possess technology beyond our comprehension? The recordings don't lie, Counselor." Xarleth gestured to the holographic display showing the battle. Their quantum technology. It's like nothing we've encountered in 10,000 years of Dominion expansion. The council chamber erupted in murmurs as they watched humanity's ships phase through spacetime, existing in multiple states simultaneously. The precise surgical strikes that disabled rather than destroyed. The impenetrable defenses that seemed to bend reality itself. "But how?" demanded another counselor. "Our observers reported a primitive species barely capable of reaching their own moon. Their technology was centuries behind ours." Xarleth's outer membrane quivered with the memory of the quantum transmission they had received. The hidden shipyards, the dimensional matrices, the computational power that dwarfed their own most advanced systems. "They deceived us," Xarleth said quietly. "No, they let us deceive ourselves. Every primitive satellite we observed was a sensor studying us. Every clumsy attempt at space exploration was a carefully crafted performance. While we watched what we expected to see, they built something far beyond our understanding." The holographic display shifted to show the quantum fleet's firing solutions. Perfect, precise, inevitable. The Dominion's most advanced battle computers were still trying to understand how their shields had been bypassed, how their weapons had been rendered useless by quantum uncertainty fields. "What are their demands?" asked High Counselor Vexthor, their voice heavy with the weight of this revelation. "That's what truly terrifies me," Karleth responded. They don't make demands. They don't seek revenge for our attempted conquest. They offer teaching. The ambassador activated another recording, showing the vast educational and research complexes humanity had hidden throughout their solar system. They want to share their knowledge, to help us understand the quantum nature of reality as they do. They speak of cooperation, of advancing galactic civilization together. This is unprecedented, whispered one of the elder counselors. In all our history, no species has ever been so far beyond us. Karleth finished. We thought ourselves the peak of technological achievement. We were children playing with toys, while humanity quietly mastered the fundamental forces of the universe. Through their neural implants, Karleth shared the memory of that moment when humanity had opened their mind to a fraction of their understanding. The experience had shattered their worldview, showing them a universe far stranger and more wonderful than the Dominion had ever imagined. There's more, Karleth continued, their voice dropping lower. They knew about us. Not just our technology or our tactics. They knew our psychology, our culture, our history. Things we thought safely locked in our most secure databases. They'd been studying us for decades, understanding us on a level we didn't even understand ourselves. High Counselor Vexthor leaned forward, their primary eyes focusing intently. What do you recommend, Ambassador? How does the Dominion respond to this? Karleth straightened, their scales shifting slightly toward a more neutral tone. We adapt. We learn. For the first time in our history, we become the students rather than the conquerors. Humanity's quantum technology could revolutionize every aspect of our civilization. Medicine, energy, transportation, communication. They offer us a future we never imagined possible. And if we refuse, if we choose to see them as a threat, then we lose everything, Karleth said simply. They could have destroyed our fleet, our empire, possibly our entire species. Instead, they chose to disable our ships with precise, non-lethal strikes. They demonstrated power beyond our comprehension, then offered friendship. If we reject that offer, the chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Dominion had always defined itself by its technological superiority, its right to rule through advanced capability. Now they faced a species that had hidden its true nature, waiting and watching, developing in secret until they were ready to emerge as something far beyond anything the galaxy had seen before. We thought we were gods, Karleth concluded, their scales finally settling into a pattern of acceptance. Humanity showed us we were simply early risers in a universe far more mysterious than we knew. The question now is, do we have the wisdom to learn from those who have seen deeper into reality's true nature? The High Council chamber remained quiet, the ancient symbols of Dominion power seeming somehow diminished in the light of this new understanding. The age of conquest was over. The age of learning was about to begin. Dawn of a new era. 5 years after the failed invasion of Earth, the Sol Quantum Academy opened its doors to its first class of interstellar students. The massive structure, suspended in Earth orbit through quantum stabilization fields, represented something unprecedented in galactic history, a place where humanity would share its knowledge with the very civilizations that once sought to conquer them. Admiral Sarah Chen, now serving as the Academy's director, stood in the observation dome, watching ships arrive from across the galaxy. Each vessel carried students and researchers eager to understand the quantum technologies that had transformed humanity's place in the cosmic order. The Dominion delegation has arrived, announced Dr. Martinez, who had traded his military uniform for academic robes, including a familiar face. Former Supreme Ambassador Karleth, now the Dominion's chief scientific liaison, emerged from their ship. Their scales shimmered with the iridescent patterns of scholarly pursuit, a dramatic change from the militant colors they had worn during their first encounter with Earth. Welcome to Sol Quantum Academy. Chen greeted them through the quantum translation field. Your students are among our most promising candidates. They're eager to learn, Tarleth replied, their voice carrying the humility that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago. Though I must admit, some in the Dominion still struggle with our new role in the galaxy. Chen nodded understanding. Change is never easy, especially for a civilization that defined itself by its superiority for so long. But look at what that change has already achieved. They turned their attention to the massive holographic display showing the galaxy. Quantum communication networks now connected hundreds of worlds, allowing instant transmission of information across vast distances. Worlds once stripped for resources were being restored through zero-point energy technology. Diseases that had plagued species for millennia were being cured through quantum medical techniques. We thought we were coming to conquer Earth. Tarleth mused, watching young Dominion scientists mingle with researchers from 24 other species. Instead, you conquered us, not with weapons, but with knowledge. Not conquest, Chen corrected gently. Evolution. The galaxy was ready for a change. We simply provided the catalyst. The Academy's quantum sensors detected the arrival of more ships, vessels of all shapes and sizes, carrying curious minds from the farthest reaches of known space. Each arrival represented a species that had heard of Earth's emergence and the revolutionary technologies they offered to share. There are still threats out there, Tarleth noted. Not every species welcomes this new order. Some see humanity's power as something to be feared rather than learned from. We know, Chen replied. Our quantum arrays detect their movements, their plans, their fears. But we'll face those challenges the same way we faced the Dominion, with patience, preparation, and the offer of something better than conflict. Through the quantum network, Chen could sense the thoughts and emotions of the thousands of beings now aboard the Academy. Their excitement, their apprehension, their burning desire to understand. Humanity had hidden their true nature for so long, watching and waiting. Now they could finally share their understanding of reality's deeper nature. In one of the Academy's main lecture halls, a human physicist was explaining quantum entanglement to a diverse group of alien students. The holographic displays showed reality at its most fundamental level, a dance of probability and possibility that most species were only beginning to comprehend. The greatest revelation, Chen said to Tarleth, wasn't our technology. It was the discovery that different species, with different biologies and cultures, could come together to explore the universe's mysteries. Every perspective adds to our understanding. The former ambassador's scales shifted to a pattern of deep contemplation. You could have destroyed us. Instead, you chose to teach us. Why? Chen smiled. Because the universe is vast and full of wonders we're only beginning to understand. We'd rather explore it with allies than enemies. As if to emphasize her point, a quantum alert rippled through the Academy systems. Sensors had detected signals from beyond the galaxy's edge, patterns that suggested intelligent design. A new frontier of discovery awaited. Humanity's greatest strength, Chen continued, wasn't our technology or our deception. It was our ability to imagine something better than conquest, a future where species learn from each other instead of fighting each other. The Academy's quantum core pulsed with energy, its computational power processing the thoughts and discoveries of thousands of minds working in harmony. In labs and classrooms throughout the station, barriers between species dissolved as knowledge flowed freely. This is just the beginning, Chen said, watching a group of young students practice quantum manipulation techniques. There are realms of possibility we've only begun to explore, and we'll explore them together. The Seoul Quantum Academy hung in space, a beacon of learning and cooperation, its very existence a testament to humanity's vision. They had emerged from hiding not as conquerors or victims, but as teachers, ready to guide the galaxy toward a future limited only by imagination and understanding. The age of conquest was over. The age of discovery had begun.